Don't believe when people come online to tell you the experience they have in staying in a very bad house in Lagos State, Nigeria. This is my own experience of staying in one of those bad houses in Lagos State, Nigeria. I got dressed this morning because I need to start looking for another apartment. I was so tired. My morning was not inspired, but I will tell you all the story in full details. I rented this house last year, March, and we moved in April 1st. When I started living in the house, it's a 2-bedroom apartment. I started having some notice. Firstly, it was from a client, and it's a national client that used to buy something worth of 5 million to 6 million from me. The client stopped buying. First, I thought it was normal, then I let it go. And I started noticing different changes in the house. Like, if you have money, you have to spend the whole money in a day. Like, before, I used to have a savings like millions in my account, but something will surely happen in that house that you have to spend all that money. Even though you don't plan for it, you will spend that money. I thought everything was happening to me alone. Then other tenants, they're complaining and about finances and different things they were having experience in their house. At that moment, I took my prayer life so serious. I joined Hallelujah Challenge. I pray on keys. I pray on different things. During the last Hallelujah Challenge we have last year, when Nathaniel Bassey said we should pray against fire, prayer of death or something like that. When we were praying that prayer, the second apartment in front of my apartment, fire accident happened. Big fire accidents happened that day, and we were able to come outside and call the firefighter and everything. I went back to my Hallelujah Challenge. We started the prayer and everything. Next day, the caretaker came and said, oh, the landlord even asked who called the firefighter, and I said I did. And he said, oh, how did I do that? And I said, okay, I did that from a button from my iPhone. That is how I was able to call the firefighter. And he said, okay. Quite long, he came again, and we were having a discussion about the pumping machine, prepay meter and everything. We had an argument on money and everything, and he left. And he came again around December and he gave me a quit notice. When I received the quit notice, I was just like, okay, I was expecting it. It was not new to me. I told a neighbor about the quit notice, and he said I should call the landlord. The landlord might not be aware of the quit notice. So I called the landlord, then I told the landlord. And the landlord said, if he could not control me, it would be difficult for him or them to control the rest of the tenants. I asked the landlord, did we rent this apartment for we to be controlled by you or your caretaker? That I do not understand. And he said, I am covering or shading, I don't know the grammatical word he actually used, that I was something like that to the rest of the tenants in the house. And I was just like, are you for real? Next thing he said is that, oh, I don't like people like you. People that feel like they know about the law, I do not like them. Everything that the caretaker says about you is so true. And I noticed that you are shading people in the house. I asked again, what did you mean by I am shading people in the house? And he proceeded like, they said, I'm shading people like I'm protecting people in the house, that if they can't get to me, if they can't get to me, they cannot also get through to the to the other tenants. And he said, so then, as for this different, you need to move sign in my house. And I said, like, okay, I accept the quittances. Even though my house is very to move clean, out extremely of your clean house. So when he said the kitchen today, lo and behold, morning, he called back again and said, when I wake up, you are not even begging, I will use my not even sad that we gave you a quit notice. You are so happy that you want to move out of the house. I don't know where those ants used to come from. I did not argue with him. Anything that needs to do with raw food, please, what does this man mean by shading people? They will eat in the house and protecting people in the house. Then I said, okay, this is the final. I need to move out of the house. I've never seen where ants eat beans before, not cooked beans, so raw beans, indomie, anything that needs to do with raw beans. So later, I started doing some spiritual practice in the house. Sometimes I would drop sugar, I would drop things like that. Maybe there's an ant that I will never say something like that. So I took my prayer and my spiritual life so serious that even the house was not convenient for me anymore.